you.
Gas prices out of control. New pressures, new promises tonight from OPEC and the government. What it all means. In depth, life, death, and politics. A controversial execution hours away. The debate grows louder over the ultimate punishment. Brothers to the rescue. An astonishing story. Two desperate hikers, two little boys with two-way radios in the nick of time. And the home of the brave. A young man helps save the world, comes home to America, makes history, and tonight he does it again.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. In this country and around the world, the high price of oil is driving gasoline and other energy prices higher and driving consumers to a new summer rage. Tonight, some developments, but not much relief. OPEC, the international oil cartel meeting in Vienna, agreed to step up production some, while the political pressure on gasoline companies in this country is now reaching the combustion point. We have two reports tonight. We'll begin with NBC's Ann Thompson.
Consumers pumping gas in the Midwest unimpressed with today's moves in Vienna and Washington.
I mean, something's got to be done.
Motorists and boaters in Chicago fuming over the cost of filling up.
$366. Too much. Yeah, it's a bundle.
In Washington, more meetings and finger pointing. EPA Chief Carol Browner demanding answers from the oil industry.
Now that the wholesale prices have dropped, we're talking almost 25 cents per gallon. Why are those cost drops not being passed on to the consumers? Why are they not seeing it at the pumps?
The industry, now the subject of a formal Federal Trade Commission investigation, says the problem is not price gouging, but an EPA demand for cleaner burning fuel.
There is not enough refining capacity in the region to be able to satisfy all the demand.
Across the country, a wide variety of prices. In Seattle, a gallon of unleaded regular goes for $1.61, $1.55 in Dallas, $1.77 in New York, and this month an average of $2.16 in Chicago. Since May, prices here up more than $0.50.
And this 54-cent one-month increase represents the largest increase we've ever recorded.
Why is the price so high in Chicago? Here is the breakdown of a gallon of unleaded regular. To make gasoline, you need crude oil. The cost today, 71 cents. Add on 65 cents, according to the Illinois Petroleum Council, to refine it, deliver it, and give the service station owner a small profit. Another 16 cents to meet the new EPA requirements for reformulated gas. And finally, federal, state, and local taxes in Chicago tack on another 64 cents for a grand total of $2.16, the highest in the country. And that's made gas prices here an issue in the presidential campaign. Illinois is a key state for Al Gore and George W. Bush come November. Both men support the FTC investigation, but disagree on who's to blame.
I would hope the administration would convince our friends in OPEC to open up the spigots.
I think it's time to put our feet on the brakes of what may well be big oil's price gouging.
But the FTC investigation could take several weeks, and real relief may not come until fall. Ann Thompson, NBC News, Chicago.
This is Ron Allen. Today in Vienna, OPEC oil ministers bowing to worldwide pressure to lower soaring gas prices, agreeing to boost crude oil production by 3%. But experts say don't look for any relief at the pump. While American drivers suffer from sticker shock at the pump, European drivers for years have paid more and can't understand why Americans complain so much about $2 a gallon.
They've got no complaint. Come over here, and then they've got a complaint. We've got the complaint.
Here in the heart of London, some of the highest gas prices in the world and rising the past few months, now close to $6 per gallon. For this taxi driver, that means filling up his cab costs almost $70. Most of that cost, 80%, taxes aimed at cleaning up air pollution and the environment. Gas prices have made the British change their driving habits.
If you look around, you see a lot of smaller cars over here. You don't see so many of the big gas guzzlers because people just can't afford to fill up with a tank of gas.
The same is true around the world. In Japan, gas averages the equivalent of $3.67 per gallon, higher in Italy at $4.02 per gallon, and higher still in France, $4.15 a gallon. There are exceptions. Take Moscow, the equivalent of 85 cents per gallon, $8.50 to fill up most cars. Why? Nearly all the gasoline is produced at home. Or fill up in Cairo, prices just above $1 a gallon, kept low by government subsidies. OPEC's production increase may cause U.S. prices to drop by September, but in most of Europe, high fuel prices remain a way of life. Nothing expected to change anytime soon. Ron Allen, NBC News, London.
The high price of gasoline is just one of the problems battering Energy Secretary Bill Richardson these days. The other big one, of course, is security at Los Alamos, the nuclear weapons lab, where the mystery of the missing computer disks has become a full-blown political battle. Here's NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
The Energy Secretary finally reports to Congress and becomes a virtual punching bag. Senators in both parties furious about the security breakdown at Los Alamos, despite Richardson's relatively positive news.
Based upon the investigation by the FBI so far, which is, I said, ongoing, there is no evidence of espionage.
He also reports a grand jury is investigating. So far, no evidence the sensitive material left the lab. Fingerprints have been found on the computer disks. They were probably taken at the end of March. But that means they were missing for 3 months. And a half dozen lab workers have given the FBI conflicting statements. All that raises more questions than it answers.
We are holding you accountable. These incidents happened on your watch.
I believe you've lost what credibility you have left on Capitol Hill. And I think it's time for you to go.
Part of the problem, officials say, a conflict between science and security. 2 national weapons labs are run by the University of California, the contractor.
What is the accountable system there for our contractors?
These are nuclear weapons scientists. They don't like polygraphs.
People can walk around with these disks in their pockets? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous.
For Richardson, a trip to the woodshed with big consequences. Only 3 months ago, around the time the hard drives were apparently taken, he was on the short list to become Al Gore's running mate. Today, a very different outlook.
You would never again receive the support of the Senate of the United States for any office to which you might be appointed.
All this is very painful for Richardson, who was warned today that Congress may take supervision of the weapons labs away from him and give it to the Pentagon. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
Up next, eyewitness testimony, NBC News in depth tonight, when one person's word puts another behind bars.
I picked out my rapist that I thought was my rapist. I was very confident. I was very sure.
But she was wrong. A stunning realization and how it changed 2 lives. That's tonight's In Depth. And to the rescue, 2 young brothers, their walkie-talkie, and a couple of very grateful mountain climbers in big trouble.
A new generation, a new today. Got the new man's way to lose the gray. I'm a Grecian man. Fast and easy, I'm on track. It's like my natural color's back. Grecian man. No flashy woman's look, no way. The new man's way to lose the gray.
Grecian 5.
Sign here? Sorry, I only have a minute. In so many ways, in so many places, it keeps 1 million disasters a day from happening. It's like having a life insurance policy you never knew you had. Gotta go. It's plastics. There's my good girl. Plastics make it possible.
Nothing is more precious than your eyesight.
That's why everyone should wear sunglasses, prescription or otherwise.
Get them from LensCrafters or get them from someone else. It's that important.
I've actually seen the damage that sunlight can do to unprotected eyes.
Wearing sunglasses can actually help protect your sight.
They might even make you look good.
Every hour, every day, we're helping someone see.
I'm here to demonstrate how Whiskas' new savory nuggets with crispy outsides and soft centers compare to the typical dry cat food. Observe the difference at impact. Now ours. Trying this again.
These cats are totally ruining the experiment.
New Whiskas with savory nuggets. What cats want.
Dateline Wednesday. If you were in an accident like this, you'd want your car to keep you safe. Will yours make the grade in the latest crash test? Lee Thompson with a consumer alert. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC.
NBC News in depth tonight, death and politics. Over the next 2 days, 2 death row inmates are scheduled to be executed. One tonight in Florida, the other tomorrow in Texas. Since the death penalty was reinstated in 1976, there have been 646 executions in this country, 48 of them this year. Now, controversy over tomorrow's execution in Texas is dogging Governor George W. Bush on the campaign trail. NBC's Claire Shipman begins tonight's in-depth reporting.
George W. Bush campaigning in California today. On his agenda, education.
George Bush, get it straight. No more murders by the state.
But this is the scene waiting for him at most stops. Anti-death penalty protesters and questions.
As far as I'm concerned, there has not been one innocent person executed since I've been the governor.
And the man who would usually attack him, his rival Al Gore, steers clear.
I do support the death penalty. I have not changed my position on that.
Neither candidate wants to sound soft on crime, and both would rather be talking about Social Security or the economy. But everywhere they go, questions about the death penalty. The reason? A growing sense across the country that there may be innocent people on death row, that there may be something wrong with the system. Republican Governor George Ryan agrees, sparking a national debate when he called for a moratorium in his state.
As I have grave concerns about our state's shameful record of convicting innocent people and putting them on death row.
Why now? Science in part, new DNA technology. 5 death sentences have been commuted in Illinois with the help of DNA and 8 nationwide. That and growing reports of shoddy legal representation for death row inmates have even pushed conservative evangelist and Bush supporter Pat Robertson to call for a moratorium.
I don't want to see innocent people executed.
In fact, public opinion seems to be shifting on the death penalty. In 1990, 71% of the nation supported it. Today, that number has dropped to 62%. Many believe because of people like Kirk Bloodworth, on death row for murder, cleared by DNA evidence, campaigning in Washington this week to support a bill requiring better legal representation and DNA testing for federal inmates.
Without DNA, I'd be a dead man.
A blunt and simple message, and one Bloodsworth hopes the presidential candidates won't ignore. Claire Shipman, NBC News, Washington.
From the beginning, the case against the Texas death row inmate Gary Graham depended on the testimony of one eyewitness. But sometimes an eyewitness can be wrong. NBC's Pete Williams continues tonight's in-depth reporting with a stunning case in point.
Jennifer Thompson witnessed a crime, not a distant act of violence. The criminal was just inches away. In this North Carolina apartment building when she was in college, a man with a knife broke in and raped her. She fought to keep her calm, trying to memorize exactly what her attacker looked like.
You want to shut your eyes, you want to go somewhere else, but I wanted to stay alive. That was my first instinct, to stay alive. My second instinct was, if I could, I was going to nail this person, and I was going to nail him big.
Using her description, police published a sketch of the suspect. An anonymous caller pointed investigators to Ronald Cotton, who it turned out had a criminal record. When Jennifer Thompson saw him in a police lineup, she didn't hesitate.
I picked out my rapist that I thought was my rapist. I was very confident. I was very sure.
And it turns out she was very wrong, as DNA testing would later prove. But only much later, 11 years. That's how long Ronald Cotton spent behind bars, convicted of a rape he did not commit. He knew Jennifer Thompson was making a terrible mistake the moment she chose him in that lineup.
I just shook my head. I just felt, like something hit me in my head, from the top of my head all the way down to my feet, I just couldn't believe I broke out in a cold sweat.
And then one day in prison, while watching TV, he got an idea from the talk about DNA at the O.J. Simpson trial.
I was following it pretty closely. And I said, well, if they're using this DNA to convict him, then surely I can request it to have it done, to vindicate me from this falsely incarceration.
It worked. The DNA test not only set him free, it led investigators to another man who confessed to raping Jennifer Thompson.
I felt so many different emotions at that time. I felt guilt, I felt shame, because I felt like I had robbed Ronald Cotton of 11 years.
2 years after he walked out of prison, she asked to meet with him at a church near his home.
She sat down in front of us, just like you and I, and she just said, well, I'm sorry, I hope you accept my apology. And I did.
He gave me such a gift of forgiveness. And actually, he forgave me before I even asked him.
The two of them exchanged letters and even Christmas cards now. The victim and the wrongly accused, united in warning the nation that eyewitness justice can sometimes be swift and wrong. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
Still ahead tonight, 2 kids with walkie-talkies wind up in a real-life rescue adventure. And 60 years after his profound acts of courage, a Japanese-American war hero turned U.S. Senator gets the ultimate military honor.
The Batmobile is jet-powered, bulletproof, fireproof, and reaches speeds over 300 miles per hour. Could we possibly improve on it? Yes.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
It's all the help you'll need on the road. Win a trip to Warner Brothers Studios in L.A. Play the Batman Challenge at www.onstar.com.
It's allergy season. Or Allegra season. Enjoy your world with non-drowsy Allegra for people 12 and over. In clinical studies, less than 3% of people experience drowsiness, cold or flu, nausea, or menstrual pain. Ask your doctor for more information about Allegra and turn this allergy season into Allegra season. Enjoy your world.
Dad? Why do you shave?
Oh, because I don't want a beard.
Why do you wear a tie?
That's easy, because I have to.
Dad, why do you always eat Cheerios?
Because Daddy's cholesterol's kind of high.
And a study shows the whole grain oats in Cheerios can help lower cholesterol when part of a low-fat diet.
Why do you have high cholesterol?
Well, because Daddy used to eat not such good things before he met Mommy.
Daddy?
The one and only Cheerios.
Why choose Transitions lenses?
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. B is very, very extraordinary. E is even more of what you adore.
Transitions lenses, the choice for comfort, UV protection, and the versatility of a variable tint that changes as the light changes. The choice you'll love. Call 1-877-4-TRANSITIONS.
My dad was a coach at Georgia School for the Deaf. I grew up in an environment where deaf kids kind of adopted me in their culture.
Thank all of you for coming to the camp today.
When I first went to Merrill Lynch, I was very impressed with Steve Malone. He was very easy to talk to, and he listened well.
So it's important for all of us to listen well and to cooperate. Every day you're building your future.
It was called The Nanny Trial. A babysitter, a dead child. Now for the first time, the baby's mother speaks out. An exclusive interview with Katie Couric tomorrow on Today.
You're watching NBC Nightly News, voted best newscast.
Despite some recent stock market jitters and those high gas prices, Americans are pretty bullish on the state of the economy. According to a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, a majority, 53%, do not think there will be an economic recession in the next year. 30% said they think there will be a recession. And on Wall Street, good news for Microsoft was good news for the markets. Word that the antitrust penalties are postponed for now sent Microsoft up 8% in today's trading. The Dow finished up almost 63 points today. NASDAQ was up almost 51 points, its fifth consecutive close in positive territory. Now to the wonders of modern toys, alert kids, and a life and death situation. It happened in the Pacific Northwest. Farm kids and widely separated mountain climbers. Here's NBC's Chip Reed.
It was about noon. The Wald boys, 7-year-old Fletcher and his little brother Parker, were over at a friend's house in McMinnville, Oregon. 80 miles away in the rugged Cascades, about 8,000 feet up Mount Hood, two climbers were struggling to survive. Back with Fletcher and Parker, they were watching a movie about horses when they heard a funny noise. The two-way radio their parents have them carry so they don't ever get lost was crackling. It was a man's voice.
A guy that was screaming for help on the thing, something about Mount Hood.
Something about Mount Hood. They couldn't believe it was possible.
These little radios are sold as family walkie-talkies. The range is advertised as only 2 miles, which means those climbers all the way out on Mount Hood were extraordinarily lucky to be heard.
Fletcher radioed his father for help. The father then called 911, and soon an Air Force Reserve Black Hawk helicopter was combing the mountainside for two climbers who'd been caught in a rock slide, one with an injured hip and bleeding heavily. They'd spent 5 hours trying to get off the mountain, knowing they had to get down before the bitter cold night.
You guys are all right.
At the hospital in Portland today, a happy meeting.
This is Parker, this is Fletcher.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Ian Morris suffered a hand injury, but says the boys helped save the other climber's life.
They did a great job, and they're real heroes.
Do you feel like a hero?
Yes.
In fact, Fletcher likes being a hero so much, he says he wants to be a rescuer when he grows up. But for now, what he and his little brother really want to do is go home and finish watching that movie about horses. Chip Reed, NBC News, Los Angeles.
I'll be right back.
Problem?
The doctor says my cholesterol's still too high.
What about diet and exercise?
They didn't do enough.
So?
He suggested adding Lipitor.
Lipitor, the #1 prescribed medication for lowering cholesterol. In clinical studies, Lipitor with diet was proven to lower bad cholesterol 39 to 60%, total cholesterol 29 to 45%, triglycerides 19 to 37%.
He said over 4 million people have started taking Lipitor to lower their cholesterol.
Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease or possible liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant.
There'll be blood tests to check for liver problems.
Tell your doctor about muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of serious side effects.
You take Lipitor once a day.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist for more information on Lipitor and call 1-888-LIPITOR.
Well?
Lipitor did it. My cholesterol's way down.
Lipitor, the lower numbers you're looking for.
Gross. No matter what you do, you can't get it off. And nothing works.
It's a lime, calcium, and rust cleaner.
Look, I don't even have to wait.
Lime Away, the easy way. Now with improved rust formula.
I want to do everything.
My dad and I are pretty close. One day last year, his arthritis was acting up, so he took some Bayer. It has all the strength of prescription Tylenol, and it relieved his pain. The next day, he suffered a heart attack. Incredibly, the doctor said Bayer not only relieved his arthritis pain, but aspirin helped save his life. Knowing all that Bayer can do, why would anyone take any other pain reliever again?
Bayer, powerful pain relief and so much more. When your eyes feel dry, gritty, irritated, protect them with Refresh brand eye drops. First, Refresh relieves dryness, then Refresh forms a lasting shield of protection that keeps irritation out and moisture in. Refresh, it relieves and protects.
You grip the road securely. You whip through curves precisely. The remarkably agile, entirely new 2001 Aurora by Oldsmobile. You get inside it, it gets inside you. Aurora by Oldsmobile.
Just ahead at 6, new information on the search for the mother who abandoned her baby at a bank ATM. Plus, learn what may happen to the baby next. And we'll look at the damage skateboarders and inline skaters are doing to our public buildings and what one Middle Tennessee town is doing about it. Stay with us. The Scene at 6 is just minutes away.
55 years after the end of World War II, 22 Asian American veterans today were awarded this country's highest honor for bravery. President Clinton presented the Medal of Honor to the 7 who are still living. Relatives of the other 15 accepted on their behalf. 20 of the men were members of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, volunteers who saw some of the fiercest fighting of the war and faced terrible prejudice at the same time. The best known of the recipients is a familiar figure in Washington. Daniel Inouye, a Japanese-American child growing up in Honolulu. At 17, everything would change. You could see the Japanese planes overhead?
All of a sudden, 3 of them flew over me, and it was gray with the red dot. I figured at that moment my world had come to an end.
Suddenly, Inouye and every other Japanese American were suspect, even though many had lived in this country all their lives.
We were considered enemy aliens right after December the 7th.
More than 120,000 were taken from their homes and forced into camps. But for Inouye,
honor was a very important thing.
So when he was permitted to serve, he quickly enlisted. He remembers his father's words as he went off to war.
He says, "This country has been good to us. If you must, give your life, but do it with honor."
Inouye more than kept his part of the deal. He became a member of the all-Japanese-American 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Your outfit was called Go for Broke, the 442nd. Heavily decorated, heavily wounded. No more courageous outfit in all of World War II. Did you talk among yourselves about the need to go the extra step because of your ancestry?
We could have sat out the war without being drafted. But we knew that if we had done that, it would have been hell for our children.
Along with the 100th Infantry Battalion, the 442nd became the single most decorated combat unit in military history. Remarkably, they would rescue a well-known Texas unit when others had failed. Do you still remember vividly the day when you went after those 2 machine gun nests and you were so gravely wounded?
Certain parts come back to me even in my dreams. You can't quite forget those things.
You lost your opportunity to become a doctor when you lost your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Inouye lost his arm, but he earned the Distinguished Service Cross, and he'll always remember his comrades.
I'd fallen to my knees.
Although critically wounded, he wrote of the pride that he felt that day.
And I was so fiercely proud of those guys, I wanted to cry.
Inouye recuperated in a Michigan hospital and started a lifelong friendship with another wounded veteran, Bob Dole.
To think about Dan Inouye as a great American hero, but even in the larger picture, what liberty and freedom are all about.
Dole inspired Inouye, who's been a senator since 1962. Today, the highest military honor earned almost 60 years ago. What are the other lessons from the Japanese Americans who fought so bravely?
You should remember that they were all Americans. They were all afraid. But somehow, because they felt that they had to do it as a matter of honor and duty, they did it.
For a long time, Inouye only wore his good conduct ribbon. He said he earned that one. In Italy, he did what he had to do. That's Nightly News for Wednesday. Dateline tonight at 8, 7 Central. I'm Tom Brokaw.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Dramatic new developments tonight concerning Perry March, his 2 children, and his in-laws. Find out right now on The Scene at 6.
Hardball at the state capitol over a state budget, but it may be good for people who don't want an income tax. A live report coming up. I'm Jim Travis.
Also, another Middle Tennessee daycare finds itself at the center of an investigation after a child is left behind following a daycare outing